Hi, I'm Barry Dent and welcome to another video on the ecological restoration of Puangiangi Island, Cook Strait, New Zealand. Cook Strait's just out there and it's a bit windy. Let's hope I don't blow off. It's a little bit appropriate standing on the edge of this because this is one of the series of videos about the vegetative cover of the island, and today I want to talk about the 20% of the island that's too steep, too exposed and too unstable to support any type of forest as we would know it. It's not without its plants, and this site's quite exciting because if you have a look in the middle distance on that cliff above the sea, those green patches are almost all Cook Strait prostrate Koffai, Sophora Malloyi, which is got a bit of a stronghold here on the island, a very, very special plant. It's also appropriate to talk about weeds at this point. Can you see the macrocarpa on the cliff face there? There's quite a lot of macrocarpa here, has spread from the shelter belt just over this side and seeded on the cliffs. It's a little bit dangerous to cut it out by hand for the most part, but we can hang out of a helicopter and spray it with Graze-On, which we're currently doing. That's probably the worst of the weeds that we've got. There's no gorse, there's no Tradescantia, there's no climbing asparagus. There was one tiny little patch of European broom, which we've since eradicated. There's tree lucerne, which was probably planted by long-term farmer Ross Webber. It's a relatively benign plant, but we've decided to treat it as a weed and are gradually removing that as well because it can get onto the cliffs. These slopes, apart from Sophora Malloyi, also have quite a lot of interesting little plants. There's Ringa lily, there's Pseudopanax ferox will come away here, as well as in the more stable shrublands. Prostrate herbs. There's a few of the small relative of Melicitis ramiflorus, mahoi, which is a subcanopy tree here, but we've got two small-leaved Melicitises which have now been given their own species names. They're peculiar to the Cook Strait Islands and they've now been named by Peter de Lang and his colleagues. And here's one up on this rock scarp, which is one of my favourites. It normally grows quite a lot bigger than this one, but that one is not going to. Typical of these steep exposed slopes is also large swathes of Wharariki or Phormium coccianum mountain flax, which grows from about the salt spray line to, well, any exposed area it can get established. It'll gradually get shaded out by regen in the more benign parts of the island. We've also got some long-term stable shrublands, and they're one of my favourite places on the island. It's mostly up on the northern tip of the island where there's a wind-shorn low canopy of shrubs like Coprosma propinqua, Manica, Wharariki, various other Coprosmas, Melicitises, Pseudopanax ferox, and so on. We're lucky enough to have a couple of patches of salt turf as well. They wouldn't be here if Ross or the previous farming generations had ever had cattle. They would have trampled it. But because sheep are relatively easy on the land, a couple of little salt turfs have persisted. And they've got herbs and things which you would find in salty estuaries and so on. The one at the southwestern corner of the island that this picture shows is actually quite a long way up above the coast, but it's just very, very exposed and appropriate for the salt turf to be there. And that's it for this video on the parts of the island which won't support forest but are very, very interesting. Thank you for watching.